I pulled up to my new house, the $1 million four-bedroom dream home I'd just bought with cash, and saw a moving truck already parked in the driveway. My brother Jake's car was there too, and my parents' SUV. I got out slowly, confused. Walked toward the house. My sister-in-law Melissa was directing movers. "Careful with that couch, it's expensive." Two guys were carrying furniture through my front door. Jake came out, saw me, and grinned. "Bro, perfect timing. Come help us move in." I blinked. "Move in?" My mom appeared, crying happy tears. "Surprise! We bought Jake and Melissa this beautiful house. Isn't it wonderful?" I looked at the house number. 847 Maple Grove Drive. My house. The one I'd closed on 2 weeks ago. The one I'd paid $1 million cash for. They thought my parents bought it for them. I could have corrected them right there. Could have said, "Actually, this is my house." But something made me pause. Curiosity, maybe. Or a desire to see just how far this would go. So instead, I smiled and said, "Wow, that's amazing. Let me help." My name's Ryan. I'm 36, single, work as a principal engineer at a tech company. I've been building wealth quietly for 14 years. $2.4 million net worth, 3 rental properties, solid investment portfolio. My family has no idea. They think I'm barely getting by. Still in my old apartment driving my 2015 Honda Civic, wearing jeans and hoodies to family dinners. My brother Jake is 33, married to Melissa, 2 kids, Emma, 8, and Noah, 5. Jake works in sales, inconsistent income. Melissa doesn't work, stays home with the kids. Our parents, Linda and Robert, early 60s, have always favored Jake. Not subtly, obviously. Growing up, Jake's wedding, parents paid $30K. My achievements. "That's nice, honey." Jake bought a house at 28. Parents gave him $80K down payment. Through a party, I got promoted to senior engineer at 29. Good job, stable career. The pattern continued with Jake's kids. Every Christmas, Jake's children got iPads and designer clothes. I didn't get anything because I don't have kids, so I don't need gifts. I learned early. Success makes you a target. When I got my first big promotion at 28 and mentioned the salary increase, Jake immediately asked to borrow $5K. Never paid it back. My parents asked me to chip in for Jake's house repairs. So I went quiet. Lived modestly. Saved aggressively. Invested smartly. Built a fortune in silence. 3 months ago, I decided it was time to buy my dream house. I'd been saving specifically for this for 8 years. Found the perfect place. 847 Maple Grove Drive. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, beautiful neighborhood. Listed at 105 meters. I offered $1 million cash to win the bidding war. Accepted within 24 hours. Closed 2 weeks ago. Paid the full amount up front. The title company was shocked. "You're paying cash? The entire $1 million?" "Yep." Keys handed over. My house, my dream. I told no one in my family, not my parents, not Jake, nobody. Scheduled movers for today, Saturday at 10 a.m. Apparently, so did Jake. What I didn't know, what I was about to discover, was this. 2 weeks ago, my parents had been talking to Jake and Melissa about helping them buy a house. Jake and Melissa had been house hunting, struggling. Everything in their price range was either too small or needed major work. My parents mentioned they were willing to help with a down payment on a house on Maple Grove Drive. They meant a different house, a smaller one, $600K, address 423 Maple Grove. But Jake and Melissa had recently driven past 847 Maple Grove, my house, and seen the sold sign. Beautiful house, perfect neighborhood. In the conversation with my parents, wires got crossed. Jake: "The house on Maple Grove sold. We loved that one." Mom: 847 Maple Grove? Jake: "Yeah, the 4-bedroom. Parents exchanged confused looks but went with it. Somehow, in the excitement and miscommunication, Jake and Melissa became convinced my parents had bought them 847 Maple Grove, the $1 million house. My parents were confused but didn't correct them. They thought maybe Robert had made the purchase without telling Linda, or vice versa. Classic miscommunication spiraling out of control. Jake and Melissa, thinking the house was theirs, scheduled movers for today. Packed everything, told their kids, posted on Facebook about their dream home. Same day, same time, same house. Collision course. I stood in the driveway watching movers carry a couch into my house. My dad clapped me on the shoulder. Great surprise, right? We wanted to help them out. They need the space for the grandkids. I looked at him. You bought this house? This specific house? Mom nodded, wiping tears. We wanted them to have something special. How much did you pay? Dad hesitated. Well, we're helping with the down payment. They're handling the mortgage. So you didn't buy it outright? No, but we gave them enough to make it work. I looked at Jake directing movers, at Melissa hanging curtains through the front window, at my parents beaming with pride. They had no idea this was my house, and I was curious to see how long it would take them to figure it out. That's really generous, I said. Mind if I look around, see what you bought them? Of course. Jake, show your brother around. Jake waved me over. Come on, wait till you see the master bedroom. I followed him inside, into my house, the one I'd walked through a dozen times during inspections and final walkthrough. Melissa was in the kitchen arranging dishes. Ryan, can you believe this place? 4 bedrooms. It's impressive, I said honestly. Emma and Noah ran past shrieking with excitement. My room, Jake laughed. They're so happy. This is going to change everything for us. I bet. He showed me the master bedroom, the ensuite bathroom, the walk-in closet where I'd had a safe installed during my inspection period. Check this out, Jake said, opening the closet. There's even a built-in safe. Fancy. Right? Mom and Dad really went all out. I looked at the safe, knew the combination, knew what was inside. You should check if there's anything in it, I suggested. It's probably empty. House was vacant. Still, worth checking. Jake shrugged. I don't have the combination. Maybe it's a simple one. Try some common numbers. Nah, we'll get a locksmith later. Come see the backyard. I followed him outside. The yard was beautiful, exactly as I remembered from my walkthrough. My parents were on the patio. Mom was crying again. Our baby's in their forever home. Dad had his arm around her. They deserve this. I stood there watching my family celebrate in my house and felt absolutely nothing. No anger, no vindication, just curiosity about when the truth would come out. An hour passed. Most of the furniture was in. Movers were finishing up. Melissa paid them. Thank you so much, the movers left. Now it was just family. Jake, Melissa, their kids, my parents, and me. Jake cracked open a beer. First beer in our new house. Ryan, want one? Sure. We sat on his couch, in my living room. Thanks for helping, bro, Jake said. Of course. You know, he continued, you should think about buying a place too. Real estate's a great investment. I almost laughed. Yeah, maybe someday. Melissa joined us. Do you still have that tiny apartment? For now? You should upgrade, find a nice place, settle down. Maybe. My dad checked his watch. We should probably head out. Let you guys get settled. Mom hugged Jake and Melissa. We're so happy for you. They hugged me too. Thanks for helping, Ryan. Anytime. As my parents headed to their car, I made a decision. Time to end this. Hey, I called out to everyone. Before you all get too comfortable, can I show you something? Jake looked over. What's up? That safe in the master closet. I think I can open it. Melissa raised her eyebrows. Really? Maybe. Want me to try? Jake shrugged. Sure, why not? We all walked to the master bedroom. My parents had stopped at the door, curious. I went to the closet, knelt in front of the safe, and punched in the code. It opened. Whoa, Jake leaned in. How'd you know the combination? Lucky guess. Inside the safe, a folder with documents. I pulled it out. What is it? Melissa asked. I opened the folder, pulled out the first document. The house deed. Owner, Ryan Morrison. Purchase date, 2 weeks ago. Purchase price, $1,000 payment method, cash. I held it up. This is interesting. Jake grabbed it from my hand, stared at it. This says your name. Yeah? Melissa looked over his shoulder. Wait, what? The deed to this house, I said calmly. In my name. Because I bought it. Complete silence. My dad took the deed from Jake. Read it. His face went pale. Ryan, what is this? It's the deed to my house. I closed 2 weeks ago, paid $1 million cash. Mom's hand went to her mouth. You bought this house? Yes. Jake's face was cycling through confusion, disbelief, anger. That's impossible. Mom and Dad said they bought it for us. I turned to my parents. Did you? Linda and Robert looked at each other, panicked. We thought, Mom stammered. Dad looked at Jake. We never said we bought this house. Yes, you did, Melissa's voice rose. You said 847 Maple Grove. We said a house on Maple Grove, Dad said carefully. A different one, smaller. We were talking about 423 Maple Grove. The realization hit Jake and Melissa simultaneously. 423? Jake said weakly. Yes, a $600K house. We were going to help with the down payment. Melissa's face went red. We just moved all our furniture into someone else's house? Into my house, I corrected. Jake turned to me. You knew, and you let us move everything in. I was curious how far you'd go. This is insane, Melissa grabbed her phone. You can't afford $1 million house. You live in a shitty apartment. Lived, past tense. I live here now. My dad was staring at me like I was a stranger. You paid $1 million? Cash? Yes. How? I've been saving and investing for 14 years, built a solid portfolio. This seemed like a good purchase. Mom sat down on Jake's couch, my couch, looking dazed. We had no idea. You never asked. Jake was pacing, running his hands through his hair. So what? We just move everything back out? That would be the normal course of action when you realize you've moved into someone else's house without permission. Without permission? Melissa shrieked. Your parents told us this was ours. My parents were confused. You didn't verify. You didn't check the deed. You didn't do any due diligence. You just assumed. My dad stood up. This is a misunderstanding. Is it? Because it seems pretty clear. You helped Jake and Melissa. They got excited. Nobody bothered to confirm who actually owned the property. And now, here we are. Jake's face was red. You seriously expect us to move out? It's my house, Jake. Yes. Where are we supposed to go? Our old place is rented. New tenants move in Monday. That stopped me. You already rented your old house? Melissa was crying now. We thought we'd be here. We gave notice. The lease is signed. I looked at my family. Jake and Melissa panicking. The kids starting to pick up on the tension. My parents looking devastated. Part of me, a small part, felt bad. But a much larger part remembered every time Jake got help and I got, "You're so independent." Every time his achievements were celebrated and mine ignored. Every birthday, every Christmas, every family dinner where I was an afterthought. That's unfortunate, I said, but it's not my problem. Not your problem? Jake stepped toward me. We're family. Family that just broke into my house and moved in without checking if it was actually yours. My mom was crying. Ryan, please. The children. The children you always prioritize over everything else? Including me? That's not fair. Isn't it? When's the last time you asked about my life, Mom? My career? My goals? Silence. That's what I thought. I looked at my watch. My movers are scheduled to arrive in an hour with my furniture. I suggest you figure out your living situation quickly. Jake looked like he might punch me. Melissa was on her phone, frantically calling movers. My dad just stared at me. I don't even know you. No, I agreed. You don't. You never bothered to. I walked out of the master bedroom, through my house and out to my car. Behind me, I could hear Melissa crying, Jake shouting, my mom trying to calm everyone down. I sat in my car, and for the first time in years, I smiled. My house, my rules, my life, finally. I sat in my car for 10 minutes, listening to the chaos inside. Through the windows, Jake pacing, Melissa crying on her phone, my parents trying to calm everyone down. Text from Jake. We need to talk, now. I got out, walked back inside. The movers can't come back until Monday, Melissa said, mascara running. I nodded. Okay? Okay, Jake shouted. That's all you have to say? What do you want me to say? That we can stay. We have nowhere to go. Our old house is rented. New tenants move in Monday. That stopped me. You already rented it? Melissa was shaking. We thought we'd be here. I looked at my parents. Your house? Dad shook his head. 3 bedrooms, not enough space for all of us. Hotel? Melissa laughed bitterly. Do you know what hotels cost for a family of 4? Not my problem. Jake stepped closer. How can you be this cruel? You keep using that word, family. Doesn't mean what you think it means. My mom stood up. Ryan, please. Just until Monday? I looked around. Jake's furniture everywhere. Emma and Noah confused, asking what was happening. Fine. Monday morning, 8 a.m. Everything out. Melissa's face flooded with relief. Thank you. But Monday, if there's a single item left, I'm calling the police. Jake's face reddened. You wouldn't? Try me. I pulled out my phone. Opened Venmo. Showed Jake the screen. Remember that $5,000 you borrowed 8 years ago? April 2017, 5,000 sent, 0 received back. Still want to tell me you paid it back? He looked away. Enjoy your weekend in my house. I left. Sunday morning, my dad called. We need to talk. Met him at a coffee shop. He looked awful. Your mother barely slept. How did you afford $1 million house? I own 3 rental properties. Well, 2 now. Sold 1 last month for $170,000 profit, plus stocks, retirement accounts, savings. Been building wealth since 23. His eyes widened. You own rental properties? Plus I make $380,000 a year. Stock options potentially worth another $500,000. He nearly dropped his cup. $380,000, yes. We had no idea. You never asked. When I got promoted to senior engineer, you said, good job. When Jake made assistant manager, you posted about it for a week. I learned to stay quiet. We didn't mean, you did. Jake has kids, Jake needs help, Jake deserves more. I heard it my whole life. What do you want from us? Nothing. I don't want anything anymore. I'm done trying to earn attention I'll never get. We want to make this right. You can't. You can't undo 36 years of favoring Jake. I stood up. Enjoy your coffee. Sunday afternoon, I returned to check. My furniture was in the garage. Jake's stuff still inside. Found Jake in the kitchen with the kids. Confirming you'll be out tomorrow? Melissa snapped. Where are we supposed to go? Motel 6 on Highway 10. $49 a night. We're not staying at a motel. Then find somewhere else. Jake pulled me outside. I'm sorry for all of it. Okay? That's it? You're not actually sorry. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. That's not fair. You called me lucky I didn't have a family. Lucky I didn't have a mortgage. Like my life was easy because I wasn't burdened with responsibility. But I have responsibility. I manage 15 engineers, own property, built all this while you asked mom and dad for handouts. They wanted to help, and I didn't need help because I was responsible. So responsibility gets punished. Great system. His face twisted with anger. You've really changed. No, you're finally seeing who I am. I went back inside. Emma was at the table coloring. Uncle Ryan, is this really your house? It is, sweetie. Are we in trouble? My heart cracked. No, honey, just a big misunderstanding. Daddy said we're moving again. Yeah, but you'll have a new place. She didn't look convinced. Melissa glared at me. Happy now? You've upset the children. You upset them by lying about whose house this was. We didn't lie. You told them this was home without verifying ownership. Jake came back in, shook his head at her. She stayed quiet. I'll be back tomorrow at 7. You'll be packed by 8. Monday morning, 7 a.m. Different moving truck in the driveway. Jake and Melissa were loading furniture. Kids on the porch steps looking miserable. My parents arrived at 7:30, exhausted. Ryan, Mom said, can we talk after? I don't think there's anything to say. Please, 5 minutes? Fine. By 8:15, everything was loaded. Jake handed me the key. There, your house. Hope you're happy. I am, actually. They drove off. My parents stood in the driveway, lost. Where are they going? I asked. Extended stay hotel, until they find a rental, Dad said. With what money? We're helping them. Of course you are. Mom grabbed my arm. Can we start over? Be a family again? We were never really a family, just people who shared DNA. That's not true. When's my birthday? My favorite food? What do I do for fun? Silence. Mom's eyes filled. I don't know. But you know everything about Jake, about Emma and Noah, their favorite colors, movies, everything. You never shared. I stopped because you never cared, but you could have asked any time in 36 years. Dad stepped forward. We want to do better. Great. Do that. Just don't expect me to be part of it. You're our son. Biologically, that's it. I walked to the house, stopped at the door. If you want to be in my life, you'll have to earn it. Right now? You haven't. I went inside, closed the door, locked it, watched through the window as they stood there for 5 minutes before leaving. Then I looked around at my empty house. Mine. Completely, entirely mine. For the first time in my life, I felt free. 3 weeks later, everything changed again. I was settling in, furniture arranged, rooms decorated, finally feeling like home, when my phone rang. Extended family group chat exploding. Aunt Carol had seen something, posted a link. Local Business Journal article, Young Tech Leaders Under 40. There I was. Photo of me in front of my house. Headline, How Ryan Morrison Built 2.4 Net Worth by 36. The article detailed everything. My salary, investment strategy, rental properties, the cash purchase of my home. Within an hour, my phone was blowing up. Aunt Carol. Ryan, I had no idea. Uncle Jim. You're worth $2 million? Cousins messaging congratulations. And then Jake saw it. He called. I didn't answer, texted. Saw the article, we need to talk. I ignored it. My parents called. Left voicemails. Mom. We had no idea you were this successful. We're so proud. Dad. Why didn't you tell us? We could have celebrated. I deleted them. But the damage was done. The whole family knew now. And Jake? Jake was spiraling. Because 2 days after the article came out, he got fired. Missed quota 3 months in a row. On probation. Finally let go. Melissa had to get a retail job. Part-time, minimum wage. They were barely making rent on the extended stay. And my parents? Still giving them money. $500 a month just to keep them afloat. Meanwhile, I was thriving. Got promoted at work. Engineering director now. Salary, $480K. Started dating someone, Carla, an accountant I met at the gym. She loved the house. Loved that I'd built everything myself. Life was good. Until Christmas. My parents invited me. Please come. It's Christmas. Family should be together. I said no. Jake will be there. Exactly why I'm not coming. Ryan, please. I'm spending Christmas with Carla's family. People who actually want me there. Christmas Eve, I was packing for the trip when someone rang my doorbell. Jake and Melissa stood on my porch looking defeated. We need to talk, Jake said. I'm busy. Melissa's voice cracked. Please. Jake lost his job. We might lose the apartment. The kids should have thought about that before moving into my house without permission. Jake's face went red. You're really going to throw that in our faces? You broke into my house. It was a misunderstanding. That could have been avoided with one phone call, one deed check, any basic due diligence. Melissa started crying. We need help. Just a loan. No. Ryan, please. Like I said, not my problem. You're 33, Jake. Figure it out. I started closing the door. Melissa shouted, What happened to you? You used to be nice. I paused, looked at her. I used to be invisible. Now I'm just honest. Big difference. I closed the door, locked it, watched through the window as they stood there, shocked, before finally walking away. Then I finished packing. Carla picked me up. Ready for Hawaii? Absolutely. We flew first class. Stayed at a resort I'd only dreamed about as a kid. While my family had their tense, awkward Christmas, I was on a beach, drinking Mai Tais, completely at peace. My phone buzzed once. Text from my mom. Merry Christmas, we miss you. I turned off my phone, looked out at the ocean. My life, my choices, my peace. 6 months after the house incident, my life was unrecognizable. Carla moved in. We converted one bedroom into her home office, another into a gym. The house felt alive now, our furniture, our photos, our life. Work was going incredibly well. The promotion to engineering director came with more responsibility, but also more autonomy. I was leading major projects, mentoring junior engineers, making real impact. Meanwhile, Jake's life was falling apart. I heard through Aunt Carol, who couldn't resist updating me despite my request not to. Jake found a new job. Sales again, but lower tier. $60K a year instead of his previous $85K. Melissa working retail part-time brought in maybe $15K. Combined, $75K for a family of 4 in an expensive city. They'd moved from the extended stay to a small 3-bedroom apartment. $2,400 a month rent. Eating their entire budget. My parents were still supplementing. $800 a month now just to keep them afloat. That $150K they'd saved for retirement? Down to $80K after 8 months of supporting Jake. I felt nothing hearing this. No satisfaction, no guilt. Just nothing. Then came the engagement. I proposed to Carla on our back patio. Sunset, string lights, the whole thing. She said yes before I finished asking. We posted one photo on Instagram. Simple shot. Us, the ring, the house, in the background. Caption. She said yes. Within hours, the family group chat exploded. Aunt Carol. Congratulations. Uncle Jim. About time. Happy for you both. Extended family pouring in congratulations. Then silence from my parents. For 6 hours, nothing. Finally, a text from my mom. Congratulations, sweetheart. We're very happy for you. Cold. Formal. Like a business email. I didn't respond. 2 days later, she called. We'd like to take you and Carla to dinner, celebrate the engagement. We're good, thanks. Ryan, please, we want to be part of this. You weren't part of anything else in my life. Why start now? Because you're getting married. That's important. My promotions were important. Buying my house was important. Building my career was important. You missed all of that. Silence. We'd like to come to the wedding, she said quietly. You're not invited. What? The wedding is for people who've been part of my life, who've supported me, who've actually cared. That's not you. We're your parents. Biologically, doesn't mean you get an invitation. You can't be serious. Dead serious. 50 guests. Carla's family, our friends, a few extended family members. Not you, not Dad, not Jake. My mom started crying. How can you do this? Pretty easily, actually. I'm inviting people who care about me. You don't qualify. I hung up. Carla looked at me from the couch. You okay? Yeah, feels good to be honest. They're going to keep trying. Let them. Wedding planning was joyful, no drama, no fighting over guest lists or seating charts. Just Carla and me making decisions together. We set the date, 6 months out. Small ceremony in our backyard. 50 guests maximum. Sent invitations. Aunt Carol got one. Uncle Jim. Supportive cousins. Carla's entire family. My parents got nothing. Neither did Jake. 3 weeks after invitations went out, my dad showed up at my office. Security called up. "Mr. Morrison, your father is in the lobby." I sighed. "Tell him I'm in meetings." He says he'll wait. "Tell him I'm in meetings all day." 10 minutes later. "He's still here, says it's urgent." I went down, found him sitting in the lobby, looking smaller than I remembered. "What do you want?" He stood up. "To talk, please." "I'm working." 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking." We went outside, stood on the sidewalk. "We didn't get an invitation to the wedding," he said. "Correct." "Ryan, we're your parents. You keep saying that like it means something." "It does mean something." "Does it?" "Because for 36 years it meant Jake got everything and I got forgotten. Now that I'm successful and getting married, suddenly it matters?" "We made mistakes. You made choices. Every time Jake needed money, you gave it. Every time he failed, you caught him. Every time I succeeded, you barely noticed. We thought you were fine." "I was fine. I am fine. Without you." His face crumpled. "What do we have to do? To be in your life again?" "Nothing. There's nothing you can do. Some bridges don't get rebuilt." "You're really going to get married without us there?" "Yes." "What about grandchildren? When you and Carla have kids, they won't know you, just like you never knew me." That hit him hard. I could see it. "Ryan, please. I have to get back to work." I left him standing there. When I got back to my desk, I felt lighter, like I'd been carrying something heavy and finally put it down. The wedding was perfect. 53 guests, we added a few last minute. Backyard ceremony under string lights. Carla in a simple, stunning dress. Me in a suit that actually fit. Our vows were personal, honest, real. "You saw me when I was invisible to everyone else," I said. Carla cried. "You gave me a home I didn't know I needed." We kissed. Everyone cheered. Reception on the patio, catered dinner, dancing, laughter. Aunt Carol pulled me aside. "Your parents are devastated they weren't here." "I'm sure they are." "Don't you feel bad?" "No. They had 36 years to be part of my life. This is their consequence." She hugged me. "You deserve to be happy." "I am happy. For the first time in my life, I'm genuinely happy." Later, cutting the cake, Carla whispered, "No regrets?" "None. You?" "Not a single one." That night, lying in bed in our house, I thought about my family. Jake struggling financially, probably resenting me. My parents watching from the outside, realizing what they'd lost. And me? Living my best life with someone who actually valued me. No guilt. No second guessing. Just peace. 1 year after the wedding, Carla told me she was pregnant. I cried. Happy tears. Overwhelmed tears. We were having a baby. We told Carla's family first. They were thrilled. Started planning baby showers and buying gifts immediately. We posted on social media a few weeks later. Simple announcement. Coming soon. The congratulations flooded in, and then my mom called. "You're having a baby?" "Yes." "Ryan, that's wonderful. We're going to be grandparents." "You already are. Jake's kids?" "You know what I mean." "I do. And the answer is no." "No to what?" "No, you won't be involved." "No, you won't meet the baby." "No, you won't get the access you think you deserve." Silence. "You can't keep your child from us. Watch me. My child won't grow up watching you favor someone else's kids. Won't experience what I did. This ends with me. We've changed. We treat Jake's kids and everyone equally now. Great. Keep doing that. Just not with my child." "Ryan, please. I'm protecting my kid from the same damage you did to me. That's my job as a parent." I hung up. Carla rubbed her growing belly. "You sure about this?" "Completely. Our kid deserves better than what I had." "They're going to keep trying. Let them. They can't hurt what they can't touch." Our daughter was born on a Tuesday. Sophie. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. I held her in the hospital and made a promise. You'll never feel invisible, never feel less than, never doubt that you're loved. Carla smiled through exhausted tears. She's so lucky to have you. We're lucky to have each other. We posted one photo, Sophie's tiny hand wrapped around my finger. Caption: Our whole world. The comments poured in, and buried in them. Congratulations, we'd love to meet her. Mom. I deleted the comment, blocked their accounts. We were done. 6 months after Sophie was born, I got a letter. Physical mail forwarded from my old apartment. From my dad. Ryan, I don't expect you to respond. I just need you to know something. Watching you build a life without us, the house, the career, the marriage, now Sophie, has been the hardest thing your mother and I have ever experienced. Not because we're not part of it. Because we realize we could have been. We failed you. For 36 years we chose Jake over you, made excuses, told ourselves you were fine. But you weren't fine. You were alone. And we put you there. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect reconciliation. I just wanted you to know, we see it now. We understand what we did. And we're sorry. More sorry than we can ever express. I hope Sophie never knows what it feels like to be invisible to her parents. I hope you give her what we should have given you. Love, Dad. I read it twice, felt nothing, folded it up, put it in a drawer. Maybe someday it would mean something. Maybe not. But right now, I had a wife who loved me, a daughter who needed me, a life I'd built entirely on my own terms. And that was enough. More than enough. That night, I sat in Sophie's nursery, rocking her to sleep, humming quietly, watching her tiny chest rise and fall. Carla appeared in the doorway. She asleep? Almost. You okay? Yeah. I'm perfect. And I was. For the first time in my life, I wasn't waiting for someone to see me. I wasn't trying to earn love I'd never receive. I wasn't the invisible son anymore. I was just Ryan, husband, father, engineer, homeowner. Builder of a life so full and complete that my family's absence didn't leave a hole. It left space. Space for people who actually cared, who showed up, who valued me. And that space, it was exactly where I needed to be. 2 years after Sophie was born, my life had never been better. The house was filled with her laughter, toys in every room, crayon drawings on the fridge, the chaos of a toddler who was loved completely. Carla had gone back to work part-time. We'd converted the 4th bedroom into her home office. Work-life balance that actually worked. My career continued climbing. Senior director now, $520K salary. Stock options vesting that pushed my net worth past $3.5 million. We talked about having another baby. Maybe in a year or two. Life was full. Complete. Perfect in its imperfection. Meanwhile, Jake's situation had gotten worse. Aunt Carol still updated me despite my protests. I think she hoped I'd eventually cave and help him. Jake had been fired from the 2nd sales job. Performance issues again. Found work at a call center. $42K a year. For a 35-year-old father of 2. Melissa still working retail. Together, maybe $60K total. They'd moved again. Smaller apartment, rougher neighborhood. $1,900 a month, but that was still more than they could afford. My parents were giving them $2,200 a month now. Their retirement savings? Gone. Completely depleted. Emma was 10 now, Noah was 7. According to Aunt Carol, they were struggling in school, acting out. The instability was affecting them. I felt bad for the kids, not for Jake and Melissa. They'd made their choices. This was the consequence. Then, one Saturday morning, everything came to a head. I was in the backyard with Sophie. She was chasing bubbles I was blowing, giggling every time one popped. Carla was inside making breakfast. The doorbell rang. Carla called out, "I'll get it." 30 seconds later, "Ryan, you need to come here." Something in her voice made me pick up Sophie and head inside. My parents stood in the entryway, and Jake, and Melissa, all 4 of them. "What are you doing here?" I asked. My mom's eyes immediately went to Sophie. "Oh my God, she's beautiful." Sophie buried her face in my shoulder, shy around strangers. You need to leave, I said calmly. Please, my dad said. Just hear us out. No, you're not welcome here. Leave. Jake stepped forward. Ryan, we're desperate. I lost my job again. We're being evicted. We have nowhere to go. Not my problem. Melissa started crying. We have children. They're going to be homeless. You have two options. 1. Ask your parents to take you in. 2. Figure it out like adults. Neither involves me. Mom and Dad's house isn't big enough, Jake started. Then downsize. Get a smaller apartment. Move to a cheaper city. I don't care. But you're not moving in here. My mom was still staring at Sophie. She has your eyes. Don't, I said sharply. Don't look at her. Don't talk to her. You don't get access to my daughter. We're her grandparents. You're strangers. That's all you'll ever be to her. Carla stepped beside me, protective. You all need to leave. Now. Jake's face twisted with anger. You're really going to let your family be homeless while you live in this mansion? This mansion I paid for, with money I earned, while you were asking Mom and Dad for handouts. We needed help. So did I, when I was 23, working 2 jobs, putting myself through college. But you know what I got? You're so independent you'll figure it out. So I did. I figured it out without you. My dad stepped forward. Please. We know we failed you. We're sorry. But can't we move forward? Forward how? By me rescuing Jake again? Enabling his irresponsibility? He's your brother. He's a 35-year-old man who's never held a job for more than 18 months, who's been fired 3 times, who moved into my house without permission and thought that was okay. Jake's face went red. That was 2 years ago. And you never apologized. Not really. You were sorry you got caught, not sorry for what you did. Melissa grabbed Sophie's attention. Hi, sweetie. I'm your Aunt Melissa. Sophie looked at her, confused. Don't talk to my daughter, Carla said coldly. She's family. She's my daughter, I said, and I decide who gets to be in her life. You don't qualify. My mom started crying. How can you be this cruel? We're begging you. And I'm saying no. You taught me that family isn't about biology. It's about showing up. You never showed up for me. I'm not showing up for you. We've changed. Have you? Because you still gave Jake everything while ignoring me. You drained your retirement savings to support his bad decisions. You never once asked if I needed anything. You only noticed me when I became impossible to ignore. Sophie started squirming. Daddy, I'm hungry. Okay, baby, let's get breakfast. I looked at my family. You have 10 seconds to leave before I call the police. You wouldn't, Jake started. I pulled out my phone, started dialing. They left. Finally. Reluctantly. My dad turned at the door. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Don't come back. Don't call. Don't write. We're done. I closed the door. Locked it. Set the alarm. Turned to find Carla holding Sophie, both watching me. You okay? Carla asked. Yeah, I'm good. Sophie reached for me. Daddy okay? I took her, held her close. Daddy's perfect, sweetheart. And I was. 3 months later, we found out Carla was pregnant again. Another girl. We'd name her Maya. This time, we didn't post anything publicly. Just told close friends and Carla's family. No social media announcement. No opportunity for my parents to find out and insert themselves. 6 months into the pregnancy, Aunt Carol called. Ryan, I need to tell you something. What? Jake and Melissa are getting divorced. I felt nothing. Okay. The kids are struggling. Emma's failing classes. Noah's in therapy. Your parents are trying to help, but they're overwhelmed. Why are you telling me this? Because they're your family. They need you. They needed me 38 years ago, when I was a kid trying to earn my parents' attention, when I was a young adult building a career. They didn't show up then. I'm not showing up now. Jake's talking about giving the kids to your parents, full time. That's between them. Linda and Robert are in their 60s. They can't raise 2 young kids. Then Jake should step up and be a father. Novel concept, I know. You're unbelievable. I'm honest. There's a difference. She hung up on me. I told Carla about the conversation. How do you feel? She asked. Nothing. I feel nothing. Is that bad? No, it's healthy. You set boundaries. They're respecting them by staying away. Everyone gets what they chose. Sometimes I wonder if I'm being too harsh. Are you? I thought about it. About my childhood. About Jake getting everything. About my parents showing up only when I had something they wanted. No, I'm being exactly harsh enough. Maya was born on a Sunday, 6 pounds, 8 ounces. Quieter than Sophie had been, but just as perfect. We brought her home 2 days later. Sophie was obsessed with her new sister. Baby Maya, she'd chant, trying to help with everything. Our house felt complete. 2 daughters. A wife I loved. A career I was proud of. Wealth I'd built with my own hands. My family, the one I'd created, not the one I'd been born into, was everything I'd ever wanted. One evening, I was giving Maya a bottle while Sophie played nearby. Carla was cooking dinner. The doorbell rang. We all froze. It was 6 p.m. We weren't expecting anyone. I handed Maya to Carla. Stay here. Checked the security camera on my phone first. It was Emma, Jake's daughter, 10 years old, alone. I opened the door. Emma? What are you doing here? She was crying. Uncle Ryan, please, I need help. My heart broke. Where's your dad? I don't know. He dropped me and Noah at Grandma and Grandpa's and left. Said he needed space. That was 3 days ago. Where's Noah now? At Grandma's. I took the bus here. I remembered your address from when we moved in that one time. Does your grandma know you're here? She shook her head. Please don't make me go back. Grandma and Grandpa are always fighting about money. Noah cries every night. I just want things to be normal. I looked at this kid. My niece, technically, who'd been failed by every adult in her life. She didn't choose this. She didn't ask for irresponsible parents or grandparents who enabled them. Come inside, I said. Carla's eyes widened when she saw Emma. I nodded. It's okay. Emma, this is my wife Carla. And this is Sophie, who you met before, and baby Maya. Emma wiped her eyes. Your baby is pretty. Thank you. Are you hungry? She nodded. We fed her dinner. Called my parents to let them know where she was. They were frantic. She just disappeared. We were so worried. She took a bus here, alone, because she didn't feel safe at your house. Silence. We'll come get her. No, I'll bring her back. But we need to talk, all of us. An hour later, I pulled up to my parents' house with Emma. Jake's car was in the driveway, so he'd come back. I walked Emma to the door. My dad answered. Thank you for bringing her. We're talking, now. Inside, Jake was on the couch. Melissa wasn't there, already moved out apparently. Noah was in the corner, playing with old toys that looked like they'd been mine as a kid. My mom came out of the kitchen. Ryan. Emma showed up at my house, alone, on a bus. Because she doesn't feel safe here. Jake stood up. She's being dramatic. She's 10 years old and traumatized. You abandoned your kids for 3 days. Where the hell were you? I needed time to think. You needed time to be a father. Those kids didn't ask for any of this. My dad tried to intervene. Ryan, we're handling it. Are you? Because from where I'm standing, nobody's handling anything. Jake's a deadbeat. Melissa left. You two are in your 60s trying to raise kids you can't afford. This is a disaster. What do you want us to do? My mom cried. I looked at Emma and Noah. 2 kids who deserved better than this. I want Jake to grow up, get a stable job, actually parent his children. I want you two to stop enabling him. And I want these kids to have a real chance at a normal life. We're trying. Try harder, because if you don't, those kids are going to end up as damaged as I was. And that's on you. Jake glared at me. You think you're so much better than us? I don't think it. I know it. I broke the cycle, built a life, created a family that actually works. You can do the same, but you have to want it. I knelt down to Emma. You're a brave kid. Keep being brave, okay? She hugged me. Thank you, Uncle Ryan. I left without another word. Driving home, my phone rang. Carla. How'd it go? About as expected. Jake's a mess. The kids are suffering. My parents are overwhelmed. Are you going to help them? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, the kids, I feel for. But Jake? My parents? They made their choices. I'm not rescuing them. Even though you could? Especially because I could. If I step in, nothing changes. Jake keeps failing. My parents keep enabling. The cycle continues. That's harsh. It's necessary. When I got home, Sophie was asleep. Maya was fussing. Carla was exhausted. I took Maya, walked her around the house, bouncing gently, humming. She settled against my chest, her tiny hand gripping my shirt. This was my family. These 3 people. This house. This life. I'd built it without help, without approval, without waiting for people who'd never cared to suddenly start. And it was perfect. Not because it was easy, but because it was mine. Completely, entirely, unapologetically mine. 2 weeks later, I got one final letter from my dad. Ryan, you were right about everything. Jake's getting help, real help, therapy, job training. He's trying. We've stopped giving him money, told him he needs to stand on his own. Emma and Noah are staying with us for now, but we're helping Jake work toward getting them back. I know it's too late for us. I know we lost you, but I wanted you to know we finally get it. What we did to you, what we failed to do. You deserved better. You deserved parents who saw you, who celebrated you, who loved you equally. We failed, and we're sorry. I hope someday Sophie and Maya ask about their grandparents. And I hope you tell them the truth, that we loved you, but we didn't know how to show it until it was too late. Be happy, son. You earned it. Dad, I read it once, put it in the drawer with the others. Maybe someday I'd feel something reading these. Maybe not. But right now, I was too busy living to dwell on what could have been. Sophie called from the backyard. Daddy, push me. I went outside, pushed her on the swing, listened to her laugh. Carla came out with Maya, sat on the patio watching us. This is nice, she said. Yeah, it really is. And it was. My house, my family, my life, built from scratch, on my own terms, without permission or approval. The invisible son was gone. In his place, a man who knew his worth, a father who showed up, a husband who chose love. And that was everything.